Warcraft. Warcraft is a new movie just released by Blizzard Entertainment, a fantastic adaptation of a video game movie. Nerds have been waiting for this for decades. This movie was marketed as the next Lord of the Rings. Now, does it hold up to that expectations? Let's find out. Overall, the story of Warcraft is these orcs are on a dying planet and they make a portal to go to a new place. This new place has humans, has dwarves, has elves, has all these different creatures in it, and the orcs are taking over. Now they're doing this out of necessity. They have to because there's nowhere for them to go. The humans and the other creatures of this new world are trying to defend their home from this invading force. This conflict makes you want to side with both sides. You understand where the humans are coming from and where the orcs are coming from. And you understand that conflict, and it's up to the two main protagonists of this movie to come to an understanding to prevent war. If they could come together in time of crisis to protect their people from war is the crux of this movie. And it's a fantastic story. As story elements go, I could not wait for this. I needed a good epic in my life. I've had enough sci-fi, I was ready for some fantasy. And then I saw a guy riding a griffin, and I'm satisfied. Now, as this movie goes, I didn't really have any nerdisms coming in. I knew I was excited for it. I knew my friends were excited for it. But I am not a Warcraft fan. So I can't really say I'm very aware of the lore and the backgrounds. I just know it has a huge following, and that as a game is fantastic. So going in, I came in with the expectations that it was video game Lord of the Rings. And I got exactly what I was expecting. These characters are complex, but these characters are good. My feelings on this movie are that it delivered on what it said it would deliver on, which is a video game Lord of the Rings. The swordplay was fantastic, the brutality was fantastic, the CGI was beautiful, the warplay was beautiful, the warcrafts, as you will, blew my mind. The level of scope that they were presenting in this movie blew all expectations. I did not expect this huge amount of money that was just dropped and lovingly put into this movie. These guys clearly wanted to tell a story. I fell in love with the story. I'm a fan of this movie. Now, is it as good as Lord of the Rings? Well, let's get into it. Going into the character, we have the orcs and the humans, and you kind of want to choose either side. I personally love the orcs. I find their culture the most identifiable. It's very Viking-like for your kind. It's very much strongest survive. It was a very warrior-based society, and because of that, I really liked their setup. Now, that being said, the humans is classic human stuff. We got cities. We've got kings and queens, we've got peasants, we've got villages, we've got warrior class and sorcerers. All that really cool, but kind of par for the course. Now, as characters go, first off, I'm not going to say any of their character names because I can't even pronounce them. Check them on IMDb. Ridiculous names. Cool characters, though. But the main orc, the main guy orc, he was so interesting. Because he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He needs to save his people, but they got like the worst guy to be their guy to help him out. So he wants to help out his people, but at the same time he kind of wants to kill the king, and I like what he did to try to fix the problem. That being said, his wife, his kid, they were very much his rock, his reason to keep going, and a constant reminder of what he was fighting for. Moving over here, now we have the king, who it took me half a minute to figure out. It was young Anthony Stark. He was cool as a king. He felt very noble, very well spoken. He had a brother who was the cool noble knight type with the shoulder armor up to here you see in every poster. He was full of sarcasm and nihilism and didn't give a fuckisms. And he was an interesting character, but not as cool as the orcs because it was obvious. We also have some mages, and these mages stole the show from me. They made me really interested in this world, and one of my favorite parts of this movie was because this movie was based off of video games, less based off of a book. The visuals that they used as keys were video game based. So they had some really cool power-ups where you'd see the symbols show up and they'd start rotating, and they'd have these really cool flares, and it was very reminiscent of how video games work, where it's all very visually based. That being said, when the orcs fight, those guys hit hard. They hit like a truck, and then you see suits of armor crumble to a point where you're like, why are you wearing suits of armor if you're just going to become a trash compactor? It's really rough to watch, but at the same time it's really satisfying seeing these giant hammers just smash people. Overall, I wanted to put that this movie was very enjoyable for me. I'm definitely going to buy it. It's not up to the level of Lord of the Rings, but they set up this movie nicely to keep going, and the level of love that Blizzard has put into this movie, I foresee great things in the future with this franchise. Even though this movie was a good start, it wasn't the best start, but I can see it just exploding from here. And I cannot wait to see how they're going to progress the story. My name is Golden, and this is my discussion.